Hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I haven't said that in a while, have I? I don't think I have anyway. A while ago, I had an idea. It's kind of just been sitting there in the back of my brain. I think it's finally time to do this idea. I started The Mostly True Story of Tanner and Louise by Colleen Oakley. I was listening to it yesterday morning and not really all that into it. But I decided that I needed to do a little bit more. That maybe if I listen to it for like another hour and decide then. But I also had gone into Goodreads to look at the score. Because if the rating was like really low, then I was just going to give up right there. But the rating was fine. And I did that other hour, probably more like 2. I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure how much I did. But I am now about either 34, 35% of the way. And I am actually enjoying it. So when you're on Goodreads, and your way, on Goodreads, when you're showing one book here, people who liked this book also liked these books. So what I'm going to do is, when I finish this, it'll be up there, and I'm going to pick a book from the list that it shows. If they liked this one, they also liked this one, I'm going to pick one of those. Hope that's clear. I've said that so many times in so many different ways that I have edited it out. So anyway, I have an extremely messy kitchen and I am going to go to town on it. So I've got my cleaning sweatshirt on. I've got hair tied, put my hair back. I've got an audiobook that I want to listen to. So hopefully I will be back in a couple of hours and give you a synopsis. Well, I can give you the synopsis now, but I can give you an update of what is this about. Louise is an 80-something-year-old lady who has fallen recently. And so all of her children are a couple of hours away and they want somebody to live with her. They don't think she needs a nurse or anything, just somebody to help her drive. Louise was in a nursing facility where she was getting physical therapy, but now she's well enough to be on her own, but she still can't drive because she broke her hip. So in comes Tanner. Tanner's mother is friends with Louise's daughter. And so Tanner is a 20-something who is dealing with her own recovery from an injury. She was in college. She was a soccer star, got injured, and now she has lost all of that. So she's got some anger issues. She is clearly depressed. She basically lives in her dirty sweats and plays video games all day, and her parents have basically kicked her out in a nice way. So she's going to be a live-in, not even a care person, just a person to be there with Louise. Tanner starts to notice that some things are a little bit off and they're going to go on some kind of adventure or something. That's what I've heard. I haven't read the synopsis, but I'm kind of there for that. I kind of can't wait. I'm actually enjoying it now. The more I go into it, the more I like it. So that's hopeful for the end. So I will come back, hopefully in a few hours tonight anyway, and we will talk about this and see what's going to be next. Time to put the hair back. So I worked really hard and I listened really hard and I finished it. And I really, really liked it. The Mostly True Story of Tanner and Louise. I liked the way they grew closer, and Louise, I don't want to give anything away, but their relationship that they had, the adventure that they went on, and the questioning of whether Louise did or didn't. Is she or isn't she? That kind of thing. And it was fun. I like Louise's crotchety and her whole thing about the old age. Yeah, I buy into a lot of that. It was a lot of fun. I think 4 1/4 is where I'm going to go. Maybe 4.5. I did really enjoy it, but I had a slow start. It took me a little while. So I'm going to go 4 1/4. Colleen Oakley. It was fun. It was a good, quick, easy listen. And yeah, I'll stick with that. Now, I finished that last night and started The Correspondent. So let me show you the chain that I was talking about. I recorded that when I entered in The Mostly True Story of Tanner and Louise. Okay, so this is what I was thinking of. Because when I put this in that I was going to read it, I clicked on it. I saw this, The Borrowed Life of Frederick Fife by Anna Johnston. Well, I clicked on it and that sounded good. It has a really good rating. I have this. I read this. I have this on my monthly, I think it's on my monthly TBR. You know what? I think I forgot to mention it. But anyway, it's on my Libby and it's due any day now. So I have both the book and the audio. So this is going to be next. I recently just read this. I gave it 4 stars. The the Calamity Club, 4.6. I might be interested in that. I had this, Theo of Golden by Alan Levy. I had this on my Libby, but I think I delayed it. I think I returned it and now I'm like several weeks away, which is fine. I just recently finished this, How to Read a Book by Monica Wood. I gave that 4.5. I really enjoyed that. The Book Club for Troublesome Women, Marie Bostwick. Honestly, I think I have this on my coffee table. Vera Wong's I DNF'd the first book. This Lula Dean's Little Library of Banned Books, Kirsten Miller. I always want to say Kirsten Miller was probably my favorite book last year. And of course, the Frederick Bachman, my friends, any Frederick Bachman is a good read. Buckeye, Patrick Ryan. I have almost bought this a few times. I keep seeing it at TJ Maxx and it's a good price. And, sometimes they get beat up there, but I found some good ones and then I just hesitate. It's got a good rating. I like the way this looks, but I'm not going to look at it. People are reading this right now, Mad Mabel. Ooh, I have this is also on my monthly TBR, and I don't know any of these. So any case, correspondent is going to be next. So I'm going to go ahead and click this and show you. So 4.45 and also Theo of Golden. Okay. Heart the Lever, I'm not interested in. I know everybody's reading it right now. Yesteryear, I just finished that. 395, that kind of surprises me, kind of doesn't. Strangers, I kind of really like that cover. I don't know any. Oh, it's a memoir of marriage. Buckeye again. See, I kind of really, if you've read Buckeye, I would like to hear if I should read it. Wild Dark Shore, I really liked it, and yet I had issues, which is not really a surprise. Here's Calamity Club again, and I'm kind of really interested in that. So I did check earlier. I had seen this, and I can get it on Libby. It should come in soon. So let's go here. I'll have to check to see if my library has it. Bright Years again, Broken Country again, Road to Tender Heart, the names. So a lot of the same books. That one also. Oh, My Husband's Wife. That was different from the other one. Mad Mabel again. Atmosphere. I haven't read that. I'm just getting into the Taylor Jenkins read. Wally Lamb, The River is Waiting. Good rating. I like that. Anne Patchett Whistler. I like that cover. Oh, and there's no more after that. So any case, I'm going to pick Catherine Stockett, The Calamity Club. That one is going to come in. It's historical. It's got a high rating. We're going to do this again. The next book that I'm going to read, I'm really curious about this. Mad Mabel, Yesteryear, The Things We Never Say, The Burning Side, Sarah Dan. Oh, that's the new one. Okay. Dolly All the Time, This Book Made Me Think of You, Theo of Golden, still waiting to get that one. Kin is a book. Ooh, I could do that one. I have that on my Libby, but it's suspended. It would come in pretty quickly. Everybody's reading Lady Tremaine right now. Christina Baker Klein, The Foursome. All of these have good ratings. I have this, and it's on my monthly TBR. So I think that's a good choice. And there's our chain. Just out of curiosity, though. Let's see what's next. And I won't go beyond that. Yesteryear. So this morning I started The Correspondent by Virginia Evans, which is on my 26 and 26 list, library edition. I believe this also won the Goodreads award for overall book, I think, for 2025. Not entirely sure. I know it was up there. Some of the complaints I've heard about listening to it, because I am primarily listening to it, I am probably 25% of the way. When you listen to it, they have to do the whole email address or the whole mailing address. And so I can understand that. That doesn't bother me at all. It actually gives me time to adjust. Is she writing to somebody or somebody writing to her? Because she really seems to write to everybody. She does do some emails, and there's time lapse. So it starts, when does it start? It starts June 2nd in 2012, and I am currently in, December 25th of 2013. That's only 25%, so I don't know how many years it takes place over. She writes to her neighbor, she writes to her her brother, she writes to her kids, she writes to a boy who's in middle school, she writes to an author, she writes letters. And I am diligently following along. I move my bookmark regularly, checking to make sure I'm following along. I'm enjoying it. I can see, I don't know, there's no bonding with anybody. There's no characters that I'm particularly invested in. I'm not even invested in Sybil. She's the correspondent. I'm not sure. I guess I'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to try, and I've got a bunch of editing to do today. Hopefully I can get some more done tonight and maybe finish it tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, The Correspondent. I finished, and of course I finished it quite a while ago. I have some thoughts. So I'm going to go over my issues first, and then what I really liked about it. For one, Sybil was not a likable character. Hands down, she's just not a likable character. Also, it had no plot twist. My mind does not ever shut up. And so I think about things all the time. And so I figured out pretty early what was going on. I'm not going to say anything because I do not want to give anything away. There were a few minor little issues that I had. Again, me just being nitpicking me. She got her usual flowers from her neighbor on her birthday, and she said she's turned 80. And then 3 or 4 or 5 months later, she said she was 79. That's just an error. It's fine. Whatever. We don't see all of the letters. You can tell in some of the responses that there's been a conversation had already gone on, and that's fine. That's perfectly normal. But some of the letters were the immediate response, but they were months later. And I thought that was really weird from a lady who literally schedules 3 or 4 days a week to sit and write letters for a couple of hours. So that seemed a little bit weird. But what did I like about it? I love epistolary novels. I really do. For an author to be able to create the world, have everybody have a defined voice, and do a story in different people's letters, I don't know how they do it. I really just don't know how it's done. So I thought that was really very well done. Everybody had a very distinctive voice, personality, everything about them. Like you knew who was who and who was talking. Of course, that helps that the narrators, there were 14, I think, 13, 14 narrators, more than a dozen. More than a dozen narrators. That's crazy. It didn't always sound like it, and I don't think they necessarily needed to have quite that many, but still, that's really impressive. I liked that Sybil wrote to a variety of people and very consistently wrote to a variety of people. Oh, I know some people were bothered by, when they listened to it, hearing the addresses of like who it's sent from over and over again. But I used that as like kind of a grounding because I was doing mostly audio. I did have the book and I followed along pretty much every other letter. I would move my bookmark. It helped to make sure I knew who was writing to whom and what the date was, because sometimes, as I said, there were months could go on in between. So I really liked it, but I gave it 3.5. It just didn't quite do it for me, which, really doesn't surprise me considering this is like #1 book of last year. But that's okay. But it has been several days since I finished. And 2 days ago, it seems like longer, but 2 days ago, we'll go with that. I started Calamity Club. Yeah, I really struggled with that. Okay, first off, I have a story. I have a background on that. I picked it because it sounded good. And I don't know if it's my old eyes or my allergy eyes or both, probably both. But I honestly thought that Calamity Club had come out in 2024. And I'm like, okay, I'll pick that one because then I'll be able to get the book, I'll get the audio, all of that will be a lot easier on a book that's a couple years old. Let me put that back down. Yeah, it's a brand new book. It's brand new and it's really big. Really long. The audiobook is 29 hours. 29 hours. It's 656 pages. And I knew none of that ahead of time when I picked it, which makes me worried because I do not have a lot of time left on my audiobook. This story might save your life. Yes. This story might save your life. I don't know why that doesn't sound right to me. I always think it's something else. But anyway, Calamity Club. I started it and did not like it, but I was I don't know, a couple hours in, maybe not even that much. I was probably an hour in, which was such a small percentage. In the first chapter, we meet Birdie. I feel like that chapter was only there for shock value, or majority of it. It did a good job of telling us who Birdie is and giving us her history. The rest of that chapter doesn't seem to have any point to it. I'm guessing it's going to come into play sometime in the future, but right now it's just like, what was the point of that? But it does establish Birdie. We learn that she's a 20-something, like early 20s. She's outspoken. She's unmarried. The book is mostly in Oxford, Mississippi in 1933. It starts off with that establishing chapter with Birdie, and then it goes to the establishing chapter of Meg. And Meg is an 11-year-old girl who's an orphan living in an orphanage. And she's with her best friend. We're learning about how hard life is in the orphanage. And it was fine, but it kind of felt like it went on forever. So I sort of ended the day with that. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this. A 29-hour book, and I did not like it at all. But I was like at most 7% in. And I was not going to DNF a book at 7%. So the next day, I listened to that book, and I don't have it with me because, the other reason I picked it, it was on the shelf at my local library. So I said, I asked to put it on hold. Well, I went to the library, and it wasn't on my shelf. I looked it up, and I was number 65 on the hold list. If I had gone to the library, I could have picked it up and I would have had the physical copy, but I didn't go to the library that day. I might have already been too late, so who knows. But anyway, so I don't have the physical book, but that's okay. I did listen to it and it started getting more interesting. So what happens is Birdie, she lives with her mother and her grandmother. They're sending her to Oxford where her sister lives. Her sister is married. She married an old family with money. Birdie's family, her mom and her grandmother, they need money. It's 1933. It's the Depression, and everybody's losing their houses for not paying their back taxes. So she's off to Oxford, Mississippi to ask her sister for some money. Birdie is a bookkeeper in her job at home, and the orphanage needs a bookkeeper to help clean up the books a little bit when they get an inspection. So Birdie does that. She meets Meg. And so our characters are all coming together. Then there's also, I can mention her because she's in the synopsis, is Charlie. Charlie is it says down on her luck woman and who comes up with an audacious plan. I'm not quite there yet, but I am loving these characters. I actually am really enjoying this book. I am currently, I want to say I'm 40%. I might still only be in the 30s, but I think I'm at least 40, I want to say 41, 42%. I'm going to really try and finish it soon because I'm a little worried about this story might save your life. I don't have that much time left on it. But that's where we are right now. I wish I had the book with me. I am actually enjoying it, so it was just a rough start, and I'm going to go with that. So yeah, I'll check in tomorrow. I'm going to try and get a bunch done tonight. My goal is 60%, and then I'll check in with you maybe tomorrow. I could probably finish tomorrow. I'll check in with you tomorrow or the next day. We'll see. All right. Hi, I just wanted to come in. I'm sorry if I'm really red and my hair is all crazy. I've been outside today. It's really nice out, but a little warm. I am absolutely loving Calamity Club. I can't say anything that's going to happen, but it's a ride. There's a lot of this and that and back and forth and the history of how women are treated and just stuff. And I just wanted to come in and say that I think I just hit 60% and it is 7 p.m. right now. We're watching Severance now, so we're going to watch an episode tonight later, but I have at least another hour and a half. I'm hoping I can get to 75% tonight and then finish first thing in the morning. I think I can do that. But I just wanted to come in and say that I am absolutely enjoying Calamity Club. I can see what the hype is about, and yeah, I'm going to go back to it right now. I'll see you in the morning. Do I look tired? I am tired. I'm very tired. I finished Calamity Club yesterday. It took a lot longer to get through that last 35%. I got nowhere near 75% done. So So I was about 60, I think, percent before I got another 5%. Like I said, we're watching Severance, past tense. We binged that. It's only one season that's out. I get the strangest dreams. Anyway, I love Calamity Club. Now, normally when a book is huge like that, I can find, and it's not a crazy large, 650 something pages is a big book. I can normally pick out, oh, you didn't need to have these 2 pages here and maybe, a few passages over there and this whole chapter was pointless kind of thing. Other than the beginning, which does come into play, there is nothing in that entire book that I feel like needs to be removed or could be removed. I wouldn't change anything. I just wouldn't change anything. Oddly enough, I felt like the ending was abrupt, which is crazy because, 29 hours. But I think that was because I didn't have the physical book. I didn't know the end was actually coming. I was listening to it. I knew I had an hour still and it went like that. And next thing I knew, it stopped and thank you for listening to such and such audio. And I'm like, what? That was the ending? So that was more on me because I was just so into it and I didn't have pages to flip. So I think that was it. It was a completely satisfying ending, an appropriate ending, just was a fun ride. So that was yesterday. And to be honest, I use earbuds. Mainly because I can turn it off when my husband wants to talk to me. Oops, I'm knocking puzzle pieces off. We are not working on this puzzle very often. I have headphones, but with the headphones I have to pull my phone out of my pocket and then unlock my screen, turn off the book, and then I can talk to my husband. And so it's just easier to have the earbuds. I needed a break. I just honestly could not stand to put earbuds. I needed silence. I had been listening to books it felt constant for like a week, which isn't true at all, but that's how it felt. So I started This Story Might Save Your Life. I did about an hour and a half last night, and I have done quite a bit this morning. Now, I have to get it done by 6:43 p.m. But fun fact, if you are listening to Libby and your time expires, they will give you a couple extra hours. I don't know if anybody knows that, and I've only ever had that happen once, where I was actually down to the wire. So I am not worried about finishing it today because I have to, but I am actually really enjoying it. I love Benny and Joy. They are just good friends. So let me get some caffeine. So Benny and Joy are best friends, and they've been best friends for years. And they start a podcast, which just meteor to the top. They are super popular. It's a comedy survival podcast. The book starts when they're doing their podcast, and the way they set it up is this week, one person has researched a survival story and all the options and whatever, and asks the other one, what would you do? And then the next week, the other person doesn't. So and the banter between them is just fun. So it's supposedly a thriller mystery / romance. I'm okay with it either way. I'm not sure that I do see the romance between them, but I also really see the friendship between the two of them. And I'm there for it either way. So we'll see. What happens is Joy goes missing. And so from there, I need that. From there, we're split into Benny is searching for Joy, dealing with the police and all of that. And so that timeline, it goes forward. But Joy's point of view is starting from the very beginning. It actually starts in her childhood where she has narcolepsy, her diagnosis problems and stuff, and then how she met Benny, and it just keeps going on from there. So I am really enjoying it. I'm really tired, but I think I can sit and do, I have some editing I need to do today, but I think I can finish it today. I have to finish it today. I don't have the book, so I don't really have a choice. I'm playing it at about a 1.3. I might bump that up a little bit. It's easy enough to follow along. I know who's who and everything, so there's no confusion. There's no thriller part to it. There's definitely mystery. And there's definitely I really like Benny and Joy together, the chemistry there. So whether they're friends or romantic partners, either way, I'm good. Yeah, I'm really excited. I am actually really enjoying it. And I will check in with you probably tomorrow because I'm imagining it's going to be late tonight. Well, I should be, like I said, 6:43. I think the audio could go as late as 8:43. So yeah, I would probably check in with you tomorrow. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to go get another tea bag. Okay, so as usual, I finished the book. You look like you're a little crooked. Sorry if it's crooked. I finished This Story Might Save Your Life yesterday. I finished it in time. I did not need the extra hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. I did not need extra time. I really enjoyed it. I can't say anything because I don't want to give anything away. And so I'm going to leave it with my description before. I really like Joy and Benny together in either capacity, either as friends or as romantic partners. I guess there were minor little thriller parts to it, but mostly it's just mystery. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to accidentally slip and give something away. I do highly recommend it. What did you think of my Goodreads daisy chain? I had fun with this. I hope that you liked it. I think I will do it again. If I do it again, I will not pick out such a big book like Calamity Club. I might even stick to the typical 3 books in a reading vlog. But I had fun with that. I almost decided to do This Story Might Save Your Life before Calamity Club, but it honestly would have worked either way. So I'm really happy with it. I gave The Mostly True Story of Tanner and Louise a 4.25. Correspondent, I gave 3.5. It's not that I didn't like it. It just wasn't quite there for me. That's all. I gave Calamity Club, I don't know if I said what I gave it, but I gave it 4.25. I'm thinking about bumping it. I rarely bump it up, but it's really much more of a 4.35. You know what I mean? It's not quite a 4.5. It did have a beginning that I did not like, and I strongly didn't like it. So I can't give it a 4.5 or higher, but I would say it's a definite solid 4.3. I know, that's me being weird. And then This Story Might Save Your Life, a very solid 4.25. I really enjoyed that. Wasn't a thriller, it did have the romance, it did have a mystery. It was fun. It was an enjoyable read. I wish I had had the books, but that's all right. I did fine with just the audio. Please let me know what you think of it. Now, if you have not read This Story Might Save Your Life, it's time for you to say goodbye. Instead of my usual end card, I'm going to have a different card. And so thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. And for those of you who are still here, I think the one miss that The Story Might Save Your Life had, or the author, and I'm going completely blank on who the author is, was putting at least a little note at the end of the book. So I'm going to put it here in the video. If you are in any kind of situation where you're at risk, please seek help.